Tonight I'll give a more detailed explanation of the grid that I've got, which is a timeline. All the folders are separate, but as far as the visual, from the injury date, what was initially done was medical information of my actual condition was hidden from the probate court. So on the legal end, the first thing that they did while hospitalized at UMass was have me transferred to St. Joe's. And that transfer to St. Joe's, what they were doing was getting an insurance settlement in motion, this being Roger LeCompte and Lynn Howard, who were the court-appointed guardians. Hence why the legal end of it is connected in so many different ways. So by getting guardianship awarded while I was hospitalized at UMass Worcester, they were awarded guardianship, and then they had me transferred to St. Joe's, and from St. Joe's, Nashua, New Hampshire, and they had guardianship taken off of them and given back to me after putting the insurance settlement in motion. And the citations of why this was against a whole bunch of laws are written here. But the idea of misinforming the probate court and hiding my actual medical condition, then from the probate court of New Hampshire, misinformed Department of Health and Human Services, which became that umbrella that I mentioned, and from there, the different directions that they sent other information. Things about my home, things about my children, things about my advanced education that was in motion. All of these different departments were misinformed from the same place, being Monadnock Developmental Services, because I'm injured, and in the center here, their vendor Tim Donovan, who was a traumatic brain injury expert and the owner of Robin Hill Farm, he attended all the meetings with Roger and Lynn. So he's the one that directed Roger and Lynn how to move paperwork around in different directions to different departments using different courts, but by first having me misfiled in the state of New Hampshire through the Department of Health and Human Services with that move to St. Joe's and Nashua. And St. Joe's and Nashua keep the medical information that was discovered while I was life-saving surgery, conceal the truth of my medical condition, misinform probate, misinforming Department of Health and Human Services, which then, on the legal end, misinformed all aspects of the state that were involved in all parts of my life. So by having different places misinformed in different ways, this is how they're able to make it so difficult. The lost citations of each different individual that was involved and how they moved paperwork, and so there's documentation that is available to see how they moved it, who they moved it to, and what they moved. And then of course the things that are missing, like the medical information that was missing from the court proceedings, to allow this umbrella of an unlawful ruling to protect their criminal exploitation. All the other things that are around this, including the dots that are difficult to see from the video, are the lost citations and the individuals that are responsible for these documents from years I can't remember. So the other aspects of this are explaining what I had in motion and why I was considered to be a cash cow by some of the advocates involved. And it's because of all of the different assets they were able to get with this move to New Hampshire to conceal my medical condition and then capitalize on all the assets for a person while hiding my medical condition from the court proceedings to maintain my vulnerability so that they could get me to sign things to steal the insurance settlement they put in motion while I was at UMass, to steal my 3-bedroom home that I had businesses being developed at, again all the lost citations involving the paperwork that they moved. So the details of this, of each single dot that I have on the board, are the individuals responsible for moving documentation and knowing that it was against the law what they were doing, but knowing that they were protected while they were committing these crimes because of the unlawful ruling that they got in place by hiding medical information while I was hospitalized. From there, it turns into a nightmare like I would never want to see. It turns into a nightmare that you'd only see in like American Horror Stories, and you wouldn't want to see the episode twice.